Attention! And welcome to the Husker Army Podcast. With your hosts, Husker fanatic Brian Knutson, former Husker wide receiver Kenny Cheatham, and Husker recruiting guru Matt Sass.
He wings it downfield to the end zone. Roman Wilson, who's got a touchdown. Wow! And it's Mullins seeking the end zone. Touchdown. He's an exceptional talent. And here he goes. He loves to run and score. Touchdown. And launches. End zone. Wilson. That had a vapor trail on it. Right back there. Corum is in. Standing, undaunted, touchdown, Michigan.
I got my partner pretty excited right at the jump.
I'm standing right here. I have a name. Denegal down the middle. That's a touchdown for the Wolverines. Peyton O'Leary scores it.
Shit! Well, that was a disaster. Let's try again.
Hey! This is you, baby. This is you!
No! You must show us some respect.
It's a seesaw battle. Neither offense can move. Colts driving now with the ball. Armadillos better stop them. Now, how could the ref call that? It was a clean kick to the face mask.
Illegal contact. Number 51. Zinkutsu elbow thrust to the up back. Oimawatsu roundhouse lunge kick to the quarterback. Takatomi Ansor block to the... Shoot, never mind. 15 yards. First down.
What's going on, everybody? Fall in, add attention. You're locked into another episode of the Husker Army Podcast, brought to you by the Husker Army Facebook fan page. Go and check these guys out. You got to become a member of them. Awesome group. I am your host, Brian Knutson. With me, as always, our other host, Mr. Kenny Cheatham, former Husker wide receiver, a.k.a. KC. Kenny. Can't believe we got to talk about this. Well, I mean, of course we got to talk about it. You know, damn. 45-7 in Lincoln. So close to being shut out for the first time since 96 against Arizona State. And it would have been the first time, I believe, in my lifetime that we would have been shut out in Lincoln. So thank God for Joshua Fleeks taking a nice long run, nice long stroll down, the middle of the field and punching one in for us. Because, my God, what a buzzsaw we ran into yesterday in Michigan.
Yeah, it was something to watch. And he was fortunate enough to score at the end of the game to keep us from being goose-egged at home at Memorial Stadium. We don't want any goose eggs in the 100th year of Memorial Stadium. And he got the run. You can see the fans were excited that we're still there. Even the announcer said, "Corn on the cob guy is celebrating." And
that guy was rocking, man. He did not care what was going on.
So, yeah, I mean, that was probably one of the few highlights, if not the main. It was the main highlight of the few that we had yesterday. So,
yeah, it really was. I mean, started off horrible for us. They pretty much did what they wanted on offense on their opening drive. Defense really had no answer. They punch it in their opening drive. We take our very first series. First pass knocked up in the air, picked off. Next thing you know, they're in for another score. It's 14-0 before we could barely even take a breath.
Yeah, I mean, once you dig yourself that type of hole that early in the game, it's a deep trench to try to dig out of. So, and when you have a team that's robotic and efficient at what they do, turnovers are minimal, you're going to have a hard time coming back. And they jumped on our heads quick. I think within the first 8 minutes, they had those 2 scores, and that was pretty much it, man. It
really was.
Let's look and see what we can do from then on.
Yeah, I didn't bother pulling up stats for this. Nothing. It wasn't worth it. We all saw it. We all saw how ugly it was. We are not quite to that caliber yet, obviously. But let's think about this. I mean, fans in Ann Arbor were ready to get rid of Harbaugh after, I believe, like year 2 or 3. And now they can't imagine not having him there. So,
well, some of them were still talking about getting rid of him. And if I'm correct, statistically, he has had their best run as a head coach, numbers wise, in wins per game. If I'm correct, don't quote me, but I think there was something written a couple of years about that. And they were like, before he got there, this is what you were. Now he's here. This is where you are now. So you just think about it. But I mean, that sounds familiar.
It does.
I mean, we've actually done it.
Yeah.
We've got rid of that guy twice.
Yep. You know.
So, I mean, I'll say it and say it again. We've got rid of that guy twice.
Uh-huh. And look where we're at now. That graphic they showed yesterday of how both programs have done since sharing the title in 97.
With the 6 conference titles they've had, we've had the one, which I think was 99.
Yep.
And I think they had 3 BCS, and we had the one which would have been against the Hurricanes.
Oh, they only had the 2 BCS or college playoff.
Yeah, and we had the 1 BCS, which was against Miami.
That we lost.
And just, they had 4 head coaches. We've had 6.
That's the stat on that graphic that bothered me the most. It wasn't the fact that they've got more conference titles since then. They've been to 1 more BCS/playoff game than us, which that was last year, if I'm not mistaken. That was their playoff. So, the 6 head coaches that we've had since 97. The fact that I grew up and knew of 2. Bob Devaney, whom had retired by the time I was coherent enough in my age to understand football. And then I had Tom Osborne. Those are the 2 coaches I grew up with for 20-some years. And now we're looking at, we've had 4 other coaches since then. This is crazy. Now, I know fans are jumping on Rule and company about everything that went wrong in that game yesterday. But look, folks, I'm going to tell you like I told Kenny right before we started. What I saw out of Michigan yesterday, and this is not me giving them any sort of undue praise or anything that they don't deserve. I have really no hate toward Michigan like I do toward Colorado or Iowa. There's a little bit of mutual respect. Do I like Harbaugh? No. Is he getting the job done? Yes. And what I saw out of Michigan yesterday is a team that is playing focused and pissed off because of how their season ended last year. And I'm making the comparison to our 93 team when we lost that national title game against Florida State. When Bennett hooked that field goal, that team, the very next day, were focused and pissed off. And what did they do? They made sure next year there was no doubt they were getting number 1. They were getting the national title. And I just feel like this might finally be Michigan's year to do so, because that's what I'm seeing out of those guys out of yesterday. Just a well-oiled machine all around. and they're playing pissed off and focused. I wouldn't doubt Michigan winning it all this year.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to go all the way to the BCS. Was it 8 or is it still 4? I know
It's
they were
still the
switching.
4 for the
Still the
playoff,
4,
yeah.
and possibly winning a national championship. What people have to look at when they look at Michigan, like me and you spoke about before we started the podcast, was me personally, they are robotic, and you know what's coming. And that's why I said last week they were coming. You know what's coming down the line. They're going to run that ball. How it's no telling how many third down conversions they had. It was a lot. They were running the ball consistently. There's nothing flashy or big splash plays to their offense that makes you say, "Oh wow." They don't have a guy in which you can say like a Marvin Harrison Jr. where you just say, "Oh wow, look at that," or the quarterback play of Caleb Williams where you say, "Oh wow, look at that." You know, there's sometimes you have those players on your team to where you say, "Oh, that's different." You know what I mean? And it was steady. It was consistent. They broke us down. We couldn't stop them. Now, we did shoot ourselves in the foot on some plays, quite a few plays. But if you're just a general casual football fan and you tuned into that game, you would have thought or assumed this is very vanilla. This is very boring.
Yeah.
But what I saw personally from my end of watching the film on it was one team being dominated by the other slowly, surgically. It was surgical. It was a surgical domination of the football game. Like I said, nothing overwhelming, but it was that doctor with the steady hand. That's why I say surgically. And that's what they did. They surgically dominated.
Yeah, it was
not much you can say about that.
Almost methodical.
Methodical. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It seemed like they literally just did whatever they wanted to do, and it worked. I mean, come on. They muffed a punt that our guy flies right past the dude. Michigan's guy grabs it and takes off, I think, almost to the 50 or past. So,
yeah,
I mean,
the one just, that is that the one that kicked toward the south end zone, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw it. I watch it in fast motion. So I was like, did he just run past that? Yeah.
I kind of knew this was going to be a shit day once Michigan got that first touchdown catch off of our defender's helmet. I mean, and then our very first play, I think it was our very first play, is a tip-up interception. I'm like, oh my, this could not start any worse. There couldn't be any more omens.
And the big boy got it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I couldn't believe that either. I was like, that dude actually had some hands.
Caught it. And tried to rumble. Tried to rumble a little bit.
He did. And you give the big man credit. He also held on to it with a bunch of guys slapping at that ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't see those guys being able to hold on like that. I know it sucks.
Once you saw that, you were like, okay. But even though that happened, it wasn't the worst I've seen.
No,
the worst I saw I've seen. Yeah, it's not the worst performance I've seen by Nebraska at Memorial Stadium.
No,
in recent years.
No, that's very true.
And it was horrible. But it wasn't that Ohio State game a few years ago when they called the dogs off at halftime.
Man,
that was disturbing. That was disturbing.
Ugly. That wasn't even close to being a shutout. Even I believe we scored in the first half.
Yeah, that was disturbing.
Yeah, that game was way more ugly than this one even was.
Yeah. And he called the dogs off at halftime.
Well, I mean, give Harbaugh credit. He called them off on us as well.
Yeah, he did.
And
he did.
We couldn't even stop their second and third string quarterback. I mean, we weren't getting any pressure. It's just they literally took the strength of this team and drove it into the ground.
Yeah. And I mean, think about it. We were getting handled so badly that the quarterback had time to go give his boo a kiss on the sideline, get him a little love during the game. Well, yeah, baby, give me a kiss. Show me some love. Yeah, let that sink in.
Well, now to be fair on that platform, there's been visiting coaches on the sideline while they're getting their ass kicked have grabbed a runza from a vendor.
Yeah, I think that was the HBCU that did that. We got the runza that time. That was hilarious.
That was great. Funny. You got to get a runza while you're in Nebraska, man.
Yeah, that was funny.
Runzas are good. I used to hate them growing up, but man, I don't know what it was. Just at some point, it became such an acquired taste and just so good to me that
you have to get it with cheese, man.
Yes, the ones with cheese are great. And see, I don't even mind the plain ones, and I hate cabbage. I
don't like cabbage. I don't like cabbage.
Neither do I.
Cheese covers it.
Cabbage is gross. I don't care what anyone says. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's troubling.
See how much we don't want to talk about this game? Because what is there to really talk about?
What we need, where we're at, and finally, and fans and everyone finally realizing where the program is at. And we've shot ourselves in the foot far too many times over far too many years. And it's for no reason. And I say that because me personally, I get tired of hearing the same thing. I get tired of hearing, like me and you talk, we've spoken about it before, the rebuilding. Why are we constantly rebuilding? Why are we constantly talking about it's the same conversation? And a lot of people are not going to want to hear this. But ladies and gentlemen, we are having the same conversation that we've been having because if I'm correct, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Brian. The thing they were saying under Coach Pelini was a culture change. We needed a culture change.
Yeah, going from the niceness of Osborne and Solich to somebody more hard-headed and strict like Pelini. Yes, absolutely.
We went from a culture change of being a 9+ win team. And that culture change was placed into us becoming a 3 to 4 to 5 win team. So what was this big culture shift that we needed, that was so badly needed, that we're now in the position that we are in? And this is where, like I said, myself and other former players get frustrated, but like a lot of them will not speak up on it because the vitriol they get back in regard to that, speaking about it, is, oh, you guys aren't supportive. No, we're very supportive, but we would like to see results. And it's a bad feeling when we sit here and every year it's the same thing. And for me personally, if you notice, I've told you I've stopped talking stuff on Twitter, really, or X, whatever it's called, in regards to Nebraska football, because, and I know you're the super positive guy, which is dope. But me, I'm like, I can't. That's not gonna happen. You know, it's we put this faith in the hires, and we want to believe that it's going to be them. You know, I remember the tearing down of Bo Pelini and the tearing down of Coach Solich for what I thought was no apparent reason. Now, it might have been some other things with Coach Solich they try to say, but I don't know. That's not my place. And then how we were embarrassed because I think we wanted Rich Rodriguez or Houston Nutt.
Yeah, I think Houston Nutt was at the top of that list.
And he played us, held us to get more money from whatever school he was at.
Arkansas at the time.
Yeah, Arkansas, I think. And then we ended up with, crap in our face, and then we ended up signing Callahan. Yeah. Now he was a great recruiter. Modified some other stuff. him and his staff. We got some real dogs in there, but his other antics and his nonchalantness and seemed to not care about, like, even when it was mentioned to him about the bowl streak and all this, I was kind of like, oh, no, that's not acceptable. And then we bring in Coach Bellini, and if I'm correct, Coach Osborne endorsed.
Yep.
And here we go. Now we're off the top, 9 wins. And then everyone's excuses were, those are Callahan's players. Those are Callahan's players. Then he got, his kids were coming into, and he maintained the same thing. Then it was, well, we don't like his attitude, his stuff toward the fans, and how response to this, and how response. You found something to nitpick this man.
Yep.
And you wanted him gone. Another one you wanted gone. And then we go into, we hiring Coach Riley.
Yeah.
Which
Mr.
we've discussed this, and I was pissed about it.
I said who?
Yeah, but you know what? I have everything saved from people on their Twitter and all that stuff when he was signed. Because I told you before, I had something so written so deep that would have cut so deep that God told me don't hit send, Kenny. Do not hit send. Because I was so pissed and this and that. And I said, what are we doing? Is this what we've become? That we can't hire these type of guys? You know, the other big names out there.
Yep.
That have a track history of turning over programs, bigger name, immediate impacts. So that was that. And then he had the first year. It was like, here we go. Then the second year, oh, shocking. I think they started off undefeated for a lot of games. Then they had to, I think the big loss was at Wisconsin or somewhere.
Yeah.
And then, you know, then we had the following year, then which he was fired. But it goes back, people saying, Bo Pelini has his, but he had the big losses. Then we go with Coach Frost. Coming off Central Florida. Like I said, I didn't want him there because I didn't want him to get turned on originally. I thought it was too early. Thought we should have went for someone else, but I knew it was coming. And then we've had, and then we rolled into Coach Rulon this year. And it's not, but it's the same thing. People are blamed. The same stuff they said with when Scott came in, oh, there's not his players, and the stuff he was saying. A lot of those guys went on the NFL that were under Mike Riley.
Yep.
So it can't be. It was their players thing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of people won't admit that. They won't mention anything about that. But that's stuff I see. But I never see people say, oh, the Cam Taylor Brits and all these other guys, the Domas and all these other guys that they had, Mike Riley had, that's went on to the next level. You get what I'm saying? But then we get Coach Rule in here, and they're saying, oh, he needs his players. It's the same. You're saying the same thing.
Exactly.
You're saying the exact same thing. Give them time because of this. Stop making excuses. Did we think we were going to beat Michigan? No. But we need to stop using the term rebuilding and then making it seem like people are wrong because they're like, we want to win now. It's just something that bothers me because it's the same thing, right? And it's tiring for me to hear it.
Yeah.
You want the guys, they have to want to win more than we want them to win, regardless of who you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to believe that you're going to win. Winning is an attitude. Winning is a belief. Winning is something that, I know I'm being long-winded here, but winning is something that you go into a game thinking. I can honestly say we went into games expecting to win, knowing we were going to win. The shock was the loss. The close game was the O. But I think these guys go into games hoping to win.
Yeah.
Wishing to win. Oh, I think they think sometimes the last couple of years, oh, we have Michigan coming. Oh, we have Ohio State. Oh, what is it? You know what I mean? It's just that mind, that process.
Yeah, that winner's mentality.
Yeah. And I'm glad the fans are always as supportive as they are. That's what makes us different from a lot of schools. That stadium is going to be filled.
Yeah.
The fans are going to be supportive. And I think that's why the optimism is always what it is and the good spirits. But it's rough to watch. Now, like I said, we want this coaching staff to be successful. We want them to be.
Yes.
Because we want to see our program back. But then, like I said, full circle moment is what are we going to be satisfied with? And how long are we going to expect it to take? 2 to 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. You get what I'm saying? It's the same thing. So
And see, what have you seen? Like, what did Coach Osborne do when you guys were there that made him such this father type figure that you're willing to run until you're dead on a field? But it seems like any coach that's come in since Solich was unceremoniously let go, it seems like these players don't get that from any of these coaches. Now, granted, this is Rule's fourth game, so we don't know if he's made that connection. Sometimes it seems like he has. It does seem like these players genuinely love him, genuinely give a damn about his opinion, actually listen, try to implement what he's telling them. So I hope we're getting there.
mhm.
But what was it about Coach Osborne that he just made it effortless?
I think because who he was as a person, what he stood for, how he treated us, how he spoke with us, and what he stood for. And you just didn't want to, how can I say it, quote unquote, disappoint coach because you knew he
Don't
would
let him
fight for
down.
you. Yeah, you knew you would fight for him. You knew he had your back. And with that, as a player, you eliminate the excuses individually. You take ownership of when you make bad plays. You take ownership when you miss that block. You take ownership when you failed your assignment. Take ownership when you missed that tackle. So there was no room for excuses. If I didn't double crack, do the double read on my block and miss it because I whipped or something, that's on me. And with that comes smart football. You can recall, and a lot of people can recall, we made very few mistakes on
Yeah.
our football team.
Yep.
Offensively, you were taught to be cerebral 24/7 offensively. Common sense type stuff, such as you're going to block, you see his back, don't touch him.
Yeah.
Don't risk it. Don't get the penalty. If you're
Good right.
blocking and they turn around, move your hands. Don't stay engaged and then or disengage and then re-engage with the back towards you. That's the penalty. It's stuff like that. I played in a lot of college football games and I never got one penalty.
That's amazing.
Because if I missed something and I did it, then it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to get the penalty playing silly football. And right now we're still playing silly football with penalties.
Yeah.
I don't understand how we're it's not as bad as it was. It
No,
has
no, I
been.
will say that this
But
season actually hasn't been half bad.
right. But we need to stop having the false starts.
Yes.
Stop killing your team with false
Yeah.
starts.
False starts, illegal formation.
And
I mean,
at the wrong places on the field. It's always the wrong place, but in the red zone, toward the red zone, going into stop.
yeah, penalties are never a good thing to have happen, but it seems like it's always the most inopportune time for us.
Right. And that affects everything because now we're kicking a field goal from here instead of possibly scoring the touchdown or kicking it from closer. Um, it's it's like you, it's like me. We're tired of seeing it. Hopefully, it gets
Yeah.
better. We want it to get better, but I tell everyone, like I said, be patient, but then don't be the annoying because that just wears me thin because
Well, and you brought it up too with the penalties and everything. It's just you. I saw the stat that was it Michigan didn't have any penalties for any yards. You're not going to tell me, you're not going to convince me that they didn't have any penalties. You're not going to ever convince me that a team can go an entire game in college football or any level of football and not have a penalty. And what bothers me more about that stat is it's not the first time it's happened with a Nebraska opponent. That is the second time that I can recall in the last 3 to 5 seasons that has now happened to us against an opponent. It's ridiculous. Oh, looks like we lost Kenny there for a second. That's all right. We'll throw a little pause on it.
That's it, B. We want to see them do well. We want to do it. We want to see them be successful. We just need a consistency and a total reevaluation of where we're at as a program. Like I said, I say a lot of things and people don't know how to take it. We have to look at Nebraska in reality and say, like I said, where that has been right now, we're trying to rebuild. And we need to say, where are we at as far as a priority for student athletes to come to?
Yeah.
Nebraska is a national brand, but regional brand.
Yeah.
Michigan is a national brand. So it was easier for them to recruit.
Yeah.
Ohio State is a national brand. So it's easier for them to recruit. Penn State is a national regional brand. So they're on the level of us.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at, don't compare yourself to a Ohio State and Harbaugh's turnaround at Michigan, because that's Michigan.
Yep.
They have a long history like Nebraska, but it's still University of Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State recently success really turned around under Coach Tressel, but it's still Ohio State. USC is still USC. That's a national brand. That's University of Southern Cal. A lot of people like to talk about the SEC, but those aren't national brands.
No,
those are regional, national type brands. No one on the West Coast is thinking about Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, etc. And if that's making sense. So my point in saying this is we have to know who we can target, who we can go after to build our program to get us back on track. If everyone's getting what I'm saying. So we need to do that, figure it out, put it in play, and recruit as such, and keep your in-state kids who want to be at Nebraska and who grow up living and breathing Big Red football, because they're going to give you they're going to give you 1,000%. Yeah, they're going to give you 1,000%.
Yep.
Because of their love for Nebraska football, and then get the other guys. And that was Coach Osborne key to success. Let me go get these other top guys out of state, because everybody's not going to be able to get them. And let me bring them in with my kids and my in-state kids and the other kids who love Nebraska football outside of Nebraska in this region, who see them all the time. That's why he was able to pluck kids out of Oklahoma, Texas. Not only that, their parents and stuff can come to the game, see them on TV, those type of things. Pluck the kids out of Iowa. You know what I'm saying?
You got you out of Arizona.
Kansas. So that's what we need to get back to, man. Then I think we'll be okay.
I think
but
so.
It's going to be, when is everyone going to do their usual, and that's not good enough thing. You get what I'm saying? So that's the most infuriating part, man.
I know. And so the fans that need to just relax, that are already calling for Rule and company to be gone, and Harburg should no longer be the starter. First off, I'm going to tell you right now, if Sims had been in there, I got a feeling that score would have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure we'd have scored either.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. But like you said, you see how the fickleness, why it pisses me off and why I say what I say sometimes? That's silly. That's just absolutely silly. Now you're calling for this man head.
Yeah. 4 games in.
I mean, that makes no sense. Now all of a sudden you turn on the starting quarterback that's been starting the last 2 games. Where I watch you guys praise it. See, that's the infuriating stuff,
for
Brian.
Me lately?
That's the infuriating stuff.
Lately?
Right. And that pisses me off. Yes. And that's where I hear that stuff and I say what I say, and people are like, oh, Kenny, no. So when the truth comes out, or what I think my truth, which I'm basing it off of facts and data and what I've seen in observation, that's to me, that's the truth. I'm not pulling something out of my butt, but to turn on them that quick, it was Michigan. It was number 2.
Yeah.
We're still in a position where we're trying to get this thing going.
We have a first-year head coach, almost a whole first-year staff.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
And we have to just look at it for what it's going to be and accept it and understand we aren't that. It goes back to me saying we aren't that anymore right now, currently. You had more confidence under Coach Pelini than you've had in recent years. Now he had the bad losses. Now let's get that straight.
Yeah, you did.
But you knew you were 9+ wins.
Yeah, games like Northern Illinois or Louisiana Tech, you're not even worried about those.
Right. Now we're at the point where we're worried about those games. And
yes,
who we have next? Illinois. Now,
yeah,
which
Friday night?
Which Illinois team is going to show up under the coach?
Hopefully, the one that just played Purdue and got blown out.
Got the 44 spot hung on.
Yeah,
them?
like 44 to 13 or
14 or something like that. Yeah, hopefully that one shows up and not the one where he's just bullying us. Yeah,
I don't like.
He's arrogant. He's an arrogant dude.
Yes, he is a cocky sumbitch.
Arrogant dude. Yeah,
like I think he might be even more cocky than Harbaugh, and that's saying something.
Yeah,
because I kind of lost a lot of respect for him when right before he made the jump from Wisconsin to Arkansas.
Mm-hmm. That was a money grab.
Yep, and Wisconsin they were interviewing Bielema right before Wisconsin's bowl game and everything, and it was I'm going to be here for years to come and on Wisconsin, and I believe it was the very next day headline hits that he accepts the job in Arkansas. I'm like, you asshole.
They have to say that because they have to stuff working in the background. And see, and
the problem is you're lying to these kids, though. You're lying to these kids.
Right. Now, see how you were offended with that?
Yeah. That's not even our coach.
And I totally get it. And that's where I get mad at the fans when they get mad at kids when they're like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. You know, like I said, a lot of times people think it's competition, but it's like, I need to go where I'm comfortable when I really want to play.
That's right.
People, that type of stuff. And that's why I was defending the kids. Remember Frost and they were like, I'm out of here. And I was like, leave them alone.
That's right.
If they want to go, let them go. They have that right. They have that choice. Coaches do it all the time.
Yep.
I mean, think how those kids felt when Coach Frost left, when Scott left.
Yeah.
It's the same feeling. They're hearing the rumors, the grumbling. Yeah, they're hearing the rumblings about him taking the Nebraska job and blah, blah, blah. And they're not, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I know exactly what you're saying. But believe me, depending on which one shows up, depending on which one of his players shows up. I know last year he had a couple seniors on that line and they kind of bullied us up front and ran the ball on us. But we just have to be prepared, man. And see, it's going to be a rough season. I knew it was going to be a rough season.
Yeah.
I told you that doing the predictions with me and Klesser when we went down the thing. And I was like, don't know.
Yeah, so. I don't think mine's coming true. I don't think. Well, look, the Big Ten West is just horrible right now. It really is. So,
possibility.
Look, we may be 0-2 in conference play right now, but it doesn't put us out of it by any means.
Right.
They could turn it around. They could. I mean, look, we've seen it happen before. And I think that's why I'm always so upbeat, so positive, because I have watched football for so long in my life. I have watched things like that happen almost every year to some team where they start off horrible. They're 0-3 or 0-4 or maybe 2-3 or 2-2, and all of a sudden things start clicking and they go on this 5, 6, 7, 8 game streak that they're just hot. Nobody can handle them.
Yeah.
Granted, the fire does get put out by the end of the season, but they go on an amazing tear.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I just look at it that way, because I'm always filled with that belief and that hope that this next week's going to be that one. It's going to be it. Now, I'm not going to go so far as the Husk guys to say that what if we win today and never stop? Not going to say that.
Is that what they said?
They say it all the time, and I just wish they'd stop.
Is that on Twitter?
Yes, I tried
Or
telling
X?
them on the last episode or the one before that. I'm like, please, guys, stop doing it because it doesn't work. It has not worked at all.
Hey, man.
I love them. I love those guys. Pipeline Jerky's awesome. So, I mean, I love those guys. I really do. It's just, damn. I read that and I get even more full of hope. And when we lose, I'm like, son of a bitch, why'd you have to say that, man?
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I don't pay any of that stuff any attention, man. It'll piss you.
I'm a fan. I get to.
Yeah, it pisses me off.
Yeah, former player, you get to look at it from a completely different standpoint, and it's going to grind on your gears way differently than it will mine. I stopped myself from responding to a lot of shit on Twitter. Like, I'll click on it. I'll start typing a few words. I'm like,
then you hit
this
discard.
is not worth it.
Hit the
this
X.
is not worth it. This is going to drag me into an argument that I don't want to be a part of just because I wanted to make a point. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I see it. I see a lot of that stuff they put. You know what I do with that? I'm like, oh, they're doing too much. Bottom 3 dots, mute. Wow. Have that. I've got a lot of people muted. Oh, this and that is top buttons, pick, mute, pow.
Yeah, people wonder how to block politics and shit from their timeline. Hey, mute buttons are great. You can mute certain words.
Oh, man. I have Democrat, Republican, far left, far right, Trump,
liberal,
Biden, liberal, conservative.
Just put in president. Just put president.
I have vice president. I have so much shit blocked on there, man. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want it to cross my timeline. No, I want to hear that.
Now, I will admit, when we get a follow on Twitter, I will go through that account.
Oh, me too.
I want to make sure, you're not overly political. Like, look, do I care which way a person leans? Yes. I'm not going to tell you which way that is. I don't put my politics out there for the public.
Right.
If you do, that's your choice. But be prepared to be judged for it.
Right.
Don't get butthurt when you don't get a follow back or something because of some of the most outlandish shit you've posted.
And retweeted. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
So don't get butthurt when somebody doesn't give you a follow back because of your ignorance.
Right. It's ridiculous.
So, yeah, no politics for the Husker Army, damn it.
Right. And I can go back and look at people's stuff they post or when they say something like you do in regards to something I've said. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can tell which way they lean politically. And then the moment I click that page, I'm like, I thought so. I thought so. Oh, that's what this one is.
It takes like one scroll.
I'm like, I knew it. Conspiracy theorists.
Oh, yeah.
Block. I don't even
Flat
block.
Earther.
I just
Flat
mute
Earther, you got to go.
Mute. Bling. That's exactly what I'm like. Oh, here we go. Oh, this guy is a far righty. Mute. Boom.
That's the
this
only
guy's
politic.
a far lefty. Mute. Boom.
The only politic I will flat out say that I don't care what anybody believes on this one, because I'm sorry, you might need more education if you believe that the earth is flat. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's crazy, huh?
That how you can believe that, I'll never know. I just won't. And those are the people I just won't pay any mind to.
Yeah, they get the mute button instantly too.
Yeah, it's that's a politic and a conspiracy theory, quote unquote.
It's crazy.
What was the moon landing faked and all that? Who's to say? Who's to
Right.
know other than the people that are involved?
Right.
But a flat Earth, you're never ever gonna convince me.
And you don't believe that, man? That it's flat.
That's crazy, dude. That's
Could it be
It's a
square
little-
like a? Could it be square like a Rubik's cube?
there.
I'm just putting
See,
that out there.
who's the NBA player that truly believes that the Earth
Kyrie
is flat?
Irving.
There we go. How? Like he went to college, right? Kenny?
Duke guy.
I mean,
it's a Duke guy.
He had to have gone to a class at least once.
Yeah, went to Duke.
Huh.
It's a Duke guy.
Huh. Wow. You know,
Earth
I
is
don't
flat-
like
Earth is
using
flat,
this word
baby.
all too, I don't like using this word all too often, but stupid. Just stupid.
Yeah.
All right. We'll move it on to a little lighter side of things. We'll get into the Husker Twitter part of it.
Let's go,
What we
baby.
do is just get on Twitter. I pull some random tweets from Husker fans, see what's going on, try to keep it positive. It was tough. This one was tough this week.
Just don't raw dog no randoms.
Oh, God, this was hard.
You hear me? That's one of my
the
favorite
raw
lines from a movie. Oh, she's out of my
What's
league.
that?
Oh, raw dog and some randoms. Remember he said that at the beginning?
I haven't seen that in forever.
Classic.
Oh, my God.
What you been up to?
God.
Oh, just going to raw dog and randoms. I'm like, that's hilarious.
See, I could probably do another podcast just on movie quotes alone because that's crazy.
Epic.
Maybe I will. Shit, who knows? All right. Well, like I said, it was a little tough to find the more positive ones, but I found a few and just a few only. So we'll start with this one here. It was by Skurs News, at Skurs News. Even after today, I still think we can go bowling. And Kenny, I've already said it. I agree. I even said that Indy's not out of the realm of possibility.
What are they accepting teams with 5 wins now? The bowl games?
They will accept. Last I knew, they will accept certain 5-win teams, and they usually go by academics and how fans travel for that team.
We can
revenue. It's money. It's money.
Yeah, we can. That's why I said I predicted 5 and 7. Remember?
I know.
We could possibly do that.
Yeah, I think I remember that too. I think when you said 5 and 7, I even said, "Hey, they take 5-win teams to bowl games now."
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's still possible.
We can go play in the in the Cadillac Bowl. So it's all good, man.
We played in the
top ramen bowl. We can go over there and play. Let's go, baby.
From the Cotton Bowl to the Dust Bowl.
Shrimp flavor. Top ramen shrimp flavor. Well, let's go, baby. Let's go.
All right, what else we got? All right, this is one of my guys right here from the Go Big Redcast, the Redcast Rob, at Redcast Rob. Always the Kool-Aid guzzler, even more so than me. He's got the award to prove it.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
It is, my God. Rick James was right about so.
Yeah. Hey, Rob, leave that book of sugar alone, brother.
This is why I love Rob, man. I'm the same way. I think the same way as him, and all he had to tweet was, "Well, time to go out and win 7 in a row."
Yeah, and he's on that Kool-Aid cocaine, not that real stuff.
I mean, look. Kenny, you've known me for it's been, I think, 5 years or so now. I'm the same way, man. I can't help it. I will say certain negative things to you behind closed doors, not recording, because I'm not going to publicly call somebody out.
I'll call them out. God damn it.
I know you will. I know you ain't got no problem with it. Now, if things have gotten so bad that it needs done, like Purdy, Chubba Purdy,
your friend.
Sorry, I will call him out all day long.
That's your favorite player,
starting to get on my damn nerves too. If that man don't,
is that the lineman?
Yes, if he don't pull his head out of his ass.
On the left side?
Yes.
Yeah, our left side,
What is
we
his
can't
issue?
do anything over on that side of the ball. We run
No.
right. We run right most of the time.
Yes, we have to.
Yeah.
Because the pass blocking, thank God, Harbor doesn't take more blindside
Clean
shots.
hits. Yeah.
All right. And I saved the longer one for last. I'll just read it to you. The hell with it. All right. This one's I loved the handle. Matt Rules ping pong paddle at Mr. Rule or at M Rules paddle. Some pathetic fans on this app. I get the idea to be negative and give up, but seriously, it's 5 games. But it's how we lost those games, he put in quotes. 5 games. He's had 5 games. It takes time. We were severely inept for the last few years. Got to rebuild from the ground up. No Band-Aids. I like it. I got to admit, I've got to agree with him. You got to tell these fans to shut up. It's 5 games, man.
Yeah. Them being on him, like I said, is crazy. But I'm going to say this for what was that, Matt Rules paddle? You and everyone else on social media. You know it's agitating. You guys handles with that man's damn name in it. That shit's so annoying. Stop it. It's corny and it's ridiculous and it's stupid and it annoys people like me. Stop putting that man's name in your stuff. You're an asshole if you do that. And I said it and I stand by it. Nobody wants to see that. Come up with a different handle. But I can understand what he's saying. But I'm going to also tell a lot of people this. I don't want to see the same clown shit that I've seen on Twitter and with some of the fans, because I sat there and I watched you guys pretty much give my man SF a rusty trombone for 4 or 5 years and don't start doing the same for him, the new coach. Everything's fine. Everything's this. We got to do this because of that.
He's going to turn it around.
No more dissing this previous coach for this coach and this and that. It's a mess. We're a mess. We've been a mess.
So are you, Scott.
Yeah.
So are you, buddy.
Yeah. We know that. He was a mess too. A mess since Bo Pelini, a mess inherited a mess into a new mess.
Yeah.
The last 3 coaches have inherited a mess.
Rule inherited a huge ball of shit.
So now we're in a position where they have to get it back going. Said, get a man a break, give his staff a break, but call it out when it needs to be called out.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will take it a lot better. So we just, I love the positivity. I get it. It's hilarious to me. I try to stay positive, but I have to stay real in being positive also. And we looked horrible. We lost. We got smacked. Bounce back, prepare, get ready for this Friday. Have a short memory. It's over with. Get your treatment, practice, prepare for Illinois.
That's right. God.
That's it.
Kenny, I could not have said that any better. That's exactly how you got to treat it.
It's over with. It's over with. You're still thinking about it, something wrong with you. Should be on film with Illinois and getting ready and preparing yourself.
Well, you still got folks obsessing over Colorado.
Yeah, that's why I said what I said. Did you see what I put on Twitter the other day?
Oh, yeah. And I liked it for you, too.
Yeah, stop. We shouldn't worry about that. That's not our business. We have them next year. And hopefully they sign that contract you mentioned about, 8 years or something like that? Then we play them for the next 8 years? Sign that contract. That's a no-brainer.
I agree.
Sign it. Let's go. Let's do it. But get over that. And like I said, they're in the same situation that we're in. It's just the coach is getting more, because who he is, more limelight. But here's the difference. They performed in that limelight, except for the Oregon game when they got smacked up. But you knew that was good coming up. You're it's like us with Michigan. Michigan is in 4 and 5 star team, 5-star players. Who does Oregon get? 4 and 5 star recruits.
Yep.
Who does USC get? 4 and 5 star recruits.
Oh, yeah.
So anyone literally sitting thinking like Nebraska was going to be Michigan. We would hope so. Let's that's optimistic. And Colorado would beat those two. Being optimistic, you're silly because you're comparing loaded. Those schools are Bentleys. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley took over a Bentley.
Oh, hell yeah.
Coach at Oklahoma took over a Bentley. Coach at Oregon took over a Bentley. He took over 10 and 14.
Yeah, we don't get that.
But you get what I'm saying? So Coach Rule is taking over a 4-win team.
Yeah.
That he's trying to get back revved up.
Yeah, we need
Deion,
diamond.
Yeah, Deion took over a smart car that he's trying to get going. I mean, so hey, it is what it is. We're going to struggle this year. They're not stepping into programs like the big boys. You know what I mean? And you got all the spots filled. You just have to coach them up.
I'd like to see people stop tweeting so much about Colorado. Just do what I do. Yeah, enjoy it in private. Like if things are going wrong for them, because like I said, I absolutely hate Colorado.
But you're a Deion guy, but you're going to hate Colorado.
Exactly. I don't care. It could be Scott Frost coaching there after he led us to numerous national titles. I'd absolutely hate him after that. It's just how I am with them.
Right.
Period.
Colorado. And that's what I tell people. I can respect that. And we laugh. I just told them it just seems. And what did I say? We need to be worried about Michigan.
That's right.
That's what we need to be focused on. Let it go. We need to be worried about
Michigan. I
Michigan.
don't tweet this shit out. I just enjoy it in private.
Yeah.
I was laughing my ass off during that USC game.
Oh, man. Them boys was catching passes. Just chilling in zone. And I in my group text, I said, it's 6 Arizona boys that starters for USC.
Damn.
Rice's son went to high school out here.
Really?
Yeah. Went to school with Buddha.
Holy shit.
A couple other guys went to school out here.
Well, and you guys had Arizona give Washington a fit yesterday, too.
Did Arizona win?
No, but I believe it ended up like 34 or 31-24. Like they gave them a fit.
Okay.
I don't think they ever had the lead, but they gave them a fit.
Yeah.
Kind of like Northwestern did with Penn State in the beginning. Yeah.
Then
that just we knew the wheels would fall off that one.
The Fighting Sandusky's.
Oh God.
Pedophile
Kenny,
State.
that might have been the funniest shit I've heard you say on here, man.
Pedophile State University. Fucking Penn State. Had that predator on there. His ass need to be under the jail.
Is Sandusky dead? I don't know.
And bastards in jail. He need to be under the jail.
Okay. Yeah, give it time. He'll be gone.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's Husker Twitter for you guys. I hope we covered it for you. It was pretty simple. I mean, I wasn't going to pull too much from this week because a lot of negative Nancy's. I'm not dealing with that shit. That's not.
It'll wear you down.
Yeah. Like I spent probably a half hour looking for just 4 tweets was all I was looking for, and I only found 3. So I couldn't look at any more negativity. I just couldn't.
Damn.
Horrible.
Crazy.
All right, so we'll go ahead and shut her down. I mean, we discussed the debacle. We discussed Husker Twitter. Well, yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah, get the damn W this Friday, fellas. Come on now.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. Illinois is down right now, and this is a W you should get.
Help them stay down.
Yes, our defense should be pissed, royally pissed. Now, real quickly, hopefully, speedy recovery to Luke Reimer. Come to find out that it's not really a physical injury keeping him out. He was actually taken to the hospital yesterday morning in Lincoln due to some sort of infection he has. So prayers are with you, Luke, man. Get better. We need you out here, but if God forbid, your football career is over. You're a Husker until the day you die, young man. So
That's it. That's it.
Speedy recovery. We need you back. But if you can't come back, we understand and we love you for everything you've done.
That's it, brother.
All right. So, guys, you know where to find the show by now. Just Google the Husker Army podcast. It pops right up. It'll bring you to our Twitter page, our Instagram, our YouTube, all of it. It'll let you know where to find us. But just in case you don't want to do it in that route, look, right next to my name. That's where we are on Twitter or X, whatever the hell you want to call it. That's what we're at. That's what we are on Instagram as well. Give us a follow. We follow back. Like I said, though, I do look at the accounts first. I do make sure that it's, yeah. So, looks like Kenny might have froze up again. So we'll just shut her down now. Guys, for myself, Brian Knutson, for our frozen host, Mr. Kenny Cheatham, aka KC, Husker Army, you know what to do. At ease, you are all dismissed.